Assalamu alaikum, Oasis Circle. It's your brother Haqq Islam, again with another exciting edition of the Oasis. This week's guest is Sahr Ali, who heads up Black Muslims Now. And we're going to get into it, a community organization that's doing great things in the city of New York and beyond. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
So did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yeah, you got it to start.
Brothers and sisters, we've become fast friends, so we're going to do a lot of laughing today. So let me look at my notes. All right, sister, you're a second-generation Muslim from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia.
Yes.
Tell us about your upbringing.
Well, my parents began their Islamic journey through the Nation of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have a large family. There's 6 children. 3 boys, 3 girls. And I would say it was very untraditional in a certain way because, of course, by the time I was born...
what number are you?
I'm 3.
And it's Hassan Ali and Rebecca Ali.
Yes.
Growing up in Temple number 12.
I'm not sure about all that.
Okay, because you came later.
Yeah, I came later.
Okay.
And so I have 2 older siblings who would probably remember a lot of that stuff. But by the time I was born, that had passed. But, you know, the remnants were still there. So there was a lot of conversation about those things, even though I never experienced them myself. It was sort of like the aftermath, and that sort of, I guess, the way I would describe it is sort of a kind of clumsy step toward Sunni Islam, because I don't think they were given a program. I think it kind of was like, now you're just Sunni Muslim.
But the transition was with Warif Muhammad.
It was. But I think the way that they had sort of been used to things in the
Your
nation.
Parents.
Yeah.
Hassan and Rebecca.
And I think that whole community, because it was a whole community.
Right.
So all of their friends had come from that path, and we all kind of congregated together a lot. So we were insulated in that world, even though we had started going to secular schools and all of that. We still had this whole Muslim community that came from the nation originally, that was just a part of my life and upbringing and world. And it's kind of a sweet memory for me to...
No, and it's very important.
Space.
We have to give the Nation of Islam and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad credit. And that's something that I don't think we do enough of, because Islam was given to us, the black man and woman in America, through the Nation of Islam, you know?
Mm.
And if you look at the roots of any black Muslim in America, that's where it is. If you second, third, fourth generation, that's the root.
I think there's a couple other paths, but a lot of us came that way.
Yeah. Well, please enlighten me. What's the other path?
I mean, I think
Ahmadiyya.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he came from a different path.
I believe that was Ahmadiyya.
Yeah. And there's things I didn't even know about that I started learning about. One of the members of our group came from a different path as well. Mm-hmm. His parents came from a different path. So I didn't even know that there were these other ways that people...
Because the majority of black people came...
Yeah, but of course it was the majority.
The Nation of Islam. What was life like in the house?
Well, it was fun. I had a lot of brothers and sisters. So my oldest siblings will tell stories about how when they made that transition, they stopped going to Muslim school and they went to secular schools, that it was actually scary for them, because in Muslim schools, they were taught the white man is the devil. They said that every day at school, and they marched and they did all this stuff that was programming them in black nationalism. And so when they were sent to secular school and white people were teaching them, they really were like, have my parents going crazy? Like, why are they sending me to these devils to teach us? And it was a confusing moment for them. I was past that, so it didn't hit me quite like that.
But in the house, there was still, because knowing your bio, in your house, there was black nationalist thought and Pan-Africanist thought.
Not Pan-African, black nationalism. It was really, in my particular family, the emphasis was really on our Black American heritage and just elevating that experience. And valuing that experience. Even our journey into Islam was very valuable to us. So I learned that a lot. My father used to say, he's someone, may Allah give him Jannah. I mean, he was my idol, a brilliant person who just meant so much in our community in Philadelphia. If you go there and mention the name in that community, it would mean a lot. He used to always say that because we were these people, the Black American, who we are the people, although we're American, we're not American. Like, we don't wave any flag. We don't stand on any illusion of borders, because borders are sort of illusionary. Somebody can one day change the line and now this is part of another country, so you're no longer German, you're French, whatever it is, because somebody changed the borders. So he said, we're the only ones that don't suffer from that illusion. So we're the ones that stand on humanity alone. And so that makes us particularly special and valuable. So I heard a lot of that kind of conversation.
This was all the teachings that came from your father.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is why he's your idol.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I heard a lot of that kind of conversation just about how special we were. And then we were even more special because we were Muslim. So there was a lot of comparison between non-Muslim Black people and us, and how we were the ones that had the knowledge. So we were kind of superior in a way because of that. So yeah, and just like, hey, we came from that. This is what they do. Like, there was kind of conversation like, I mean, it sounds terrible, but this is what was going on. Like, they would say, oh, they do this. They don't wash it like we do. They do all these things different from us. They eat different from us,
But that's where there were the distinguishing factors that made us different, as Muslims.
Did you come from that pathway too?
The Nation of Islam? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's talk about your mom, because I'm not going to let you switch the interview. This is my podcast. I saw that. Okay. Trying to shift. I'm welcome to come on. You
can do that too.
I know you can. I'm watching. You know how them Philly women are. But in any event, your mother, right? She was a very important pillar of the community as well. She was one of the founding members of Masjidullah, correct?
Masjid Allah.
Masjid Allah.
Yeah.
Okay, please tell me about that, because you witnessed the...
Well, again, I was young, so I even didn't know that she had founded that masjid. We went there, but I didn't know that she had founded it until Masjid Allah bought a church several years ago, and in more recent history. And it's really just kind of a jewel in Philadelphia, because a lot of our masjids, as you know, sometimes they're not built up enough, they're not beautiful. And this is a beautiful masjid, and it's huge, it's spacious, and they were able to secure this property and build this whole facility.
When did you find out your
That's
mom?
when I found out. when that one got built, when they changed from the location they had before and went to this one, and they put her name on the wall as one of the founders. I was like, what? So she's always like, yeah, my name is on the wall, because she's one of the founders.
No, because
we went there, but she never touted that she helped to found it.
No, but all of this is inculcating certain values into you, because this has produced the woman that you are and what you're doing with Black Muslims now. So that's why we're going down this path of discovery, so we can see the genesis of the woman that created Black Muslim now, Okay.
Yeah, she never, I guess I'm realizing how humble my parents were in a way, because as I said, I didn't know that she was one of the founders of that masjid my whole life, even going there and nobody was talking about who founded it.
You have had some incredible parents, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Now, what about your education? Where'd you go to high school and then university?
I went to public high school, and then I went to, in Philadelphia, I went to Girls High. And then I was going to go to NYU because I always knew I wanted to be an actor. My parents were not so receptive to that idea of me becoming an actor. So they waited until mid-summer after I graduated and said, yeah, guess what? You're not going to NYU. I was like, what? They had this notion I was going to become some kind of junkie and just go wild if I became an actor.
Wow.
So they wound up saying that they had made some calls and they were sending me to University of Maryland. So the first year, my freshman year, I went to University of Maryland College
what?
Park. As I was there, I was undecided because they didn't have any kind of theater program at the time. And so I didn't know what I was going to do because that was what I was going to do at NYU.
Well, right down the block was the greatest university for Black men and women in the world.
Oh, that was another thing. They had like a thing about like not going to Black schools weirdly.
Really?
I don't know what this is about. Like
your education.
Yeah, they were like, no, you know, I think it had to do with it not whatever they thought was going on in the non-Muslim Black world. And they were like, no, you're going to be in a sorority and this is not something we accept. And well, it was just a lot of just negativity about going to Black colleges. And I wish it wasn't because I really think that would have been the best thing that I could have done. But I didn't go there. I went to Maryland for a year.
And what did you study?
I was undecided. And then the next year I went to school for my sophomore year. And the very first day, I had a roommate that I didn't like. She wound up like turning on all the lights and turning the TV on. And I was like, oh, no, I can't do this.
At Maryland?
Yeah. And it was the first day, and I just got on the train and went back home. And my parents were like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm not going there anymore. I'm going to go to Temple. And I went to Temple for a year, and I wound up saving money. The whole time I'm like looking at New York because I'm like, I'm getting to New York. I'm going to be an actor. So I saved money, went to Temple for a year. Then I found out about the City University program that they have here. And I looked at Hunter College. They had a great theater program. So I was like, okay, I'm going there. So I can pay for that myself. So I left. I was like, okay.
So you studied theater at Hunter?
Yes, I studied theater.
And how did that go for you?
It was great. It was tough because I was supporting my own education, which I did from the beginning. Like even when I was at Maryland, I was paying for my own education, different times. So I had to work and go to school. So it was hard. And New York is hard. Like it's a hard place. And I was quite young. I graduated early even from high school. So I was quite young and I didn't know a lot of things. I was by myself and coming to New York, a young girl by yourself, trying to do all these things. It was tough.
But New York has a strong Muslim community. Do you then gravitate toward it?
No, not at all. Because if we had to talk more about that transition, that's what I was saying. I think the transition that the nation made at that time into Sunni Islam, that early part, people are doing it, obviously, once people have come to understand Sunni Islam. I don't think they understood it all the way yet, you know? So what we were given was, we were Muslim, we had Quran, we fasted, but I didn't feel like I learned enough, you know, about Islam. And because of that, my friends were non-Muslim. You know, I was going to secular school with majority non-Muslim people. But
we're talking about the 80s now, right?
80s, 90s, yeah.
Yeah, 80s, 90s, right? Mm-hmm. But you had the Nation of Islam under Minister Farrakhan. Mm-hmm. You had just Muslims in New York in general, but you gravitated toward the arts community.
Well, I think even at home, before I came there, my friends were not Muslim outside of the friends of family mm-hmm. that, you know, my parents knew. But it's just like I saw the same with my son. Once you're past a certain age, you start to get in your teen years, you don't have your parents' friends' children as the people that you hang around with. It's the people that you go to school with. So if you go to school with mostly non-Muslims, you're going to wind up having mostly non-Muslim friends. And that's what wound up happening. So
that's what I'm saying. Your friends became the arts community.
No, because my parents didn't allow me to pursue the arts. So when I came here, it was just the people I knew before I came, and arts and work, because my life was so all over the place. I wasn't able to just be at school and be an artist because I was having to support myself. So I wouldn't say it was a part of it. Some of them were, but it wasn't mostly that, I won't say.
So ultimately, your degree was in
theater arts.
In theater arts. Mm-hmm. So did you pursue it?
So after I left, I wound up pursuing it. Did a lot of work in independent film and theater, a lot of stage work, commercial work, all that kind of stuff. I actually got married because even though I was not, in a way that I see it, not really being totally educated in Islam, even though I identified as Muslim, something I think about myself just gravitated towards certain ideals. And I felt I wanted to be married. I didn't want to just be out in the world dating. And so I got married in college, like, and married someone I knew for a weekend. We met on the weekend. He came from California, and we hung out for a weekend. We decided to get married. We married 6 months later. And he was also a student. He came here, he moved here, and he was a student too. So I married him. And so my lifestyle was also being a wife and paying for us to go to school and a lot of things. It was a really interesting journey.
But the journey brought us to where we are now
Mm-hmm.
and where you are now.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this beautiful sister who, you know, figured out through theater arts and Islam brings us to Black Muslims now.
Mm-hmm.
What is Black Muslims now?
Well, Black Muslims Now is a grassroots collective that's dedicated to the unification and visibility of Black Muslims. And we do that through strategic programming that we create. We do that through political activism. And we do that through service work. So what we're trying to do is we noticed that at one point, if you were to speak about Muslims in America, you were speaking about Black people. That's the face that came to your mind, like someone Black, like Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali. Okay, those are Muslims. But now, if you're speaking about Muslims in America, and maybe you're picturing an Arab face, we no longer are part of that narrative. And we came to realize that through a number of means that I could go into, why we came to realize that, and a group of people came together and said, hey, I think we need to do something about that.
How did it get started?
There is a WhatsApp chat group for Muslims in New York. And during COVID, someone added me to this group. And also during COVID time, these things started to become more visible to us. So, during that time, there was a lot of online communications going on, political communications and whatnot. And when Muslims were being spoken about in those spaces, I noticed that they would say things like, for instance, one time they were giving statistics on Muslims in New York, and they said, well, most of them are doctors and in the tech field. And in my world of Muslims, I'm like, I don't know if that's true. So who are you counting here? And who are you not counting? And so we started to realize that we weren't being counted. We weren't being seen. And
so excuse me for interrupting, but I want to be clear on this. They weren't counting Black Muslims from America.
They weren't counting Black Muslims, I don't think, period, because if you were to speak about what are most Senegalese Muslims doing, they're not doctors in the tech field either. So
No, but Nigerians are. We have I get into this conversation all the time with people because, particularly with my Arab friends
Mm-hmm.
who don't realize that Adam was a Black man. And so we start there, like Adam in Arabic means black, he's Black man, created from mud. But that goes right over their head sometimes. So Muslims, as us, we have so many on the west coast of Africa, so many Burkina Faso people are doctors and lawyers, Nigerians, doctors, lawyers, and in tech. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's a group of Rwandans, Muslims, who are in tech. So there are Black Muslims in Africa and Black Muslims in America that fit that description. I think sometimes from my vantage point, we as Black people don't get counted, whether we're Black Africans or Black Muslims.
We're not part of the conversation at all. And as I'm even getting to do this work more, I'm being invited into spaces where, for Muslims, like, oh, the governor wants you to come to a meeting about this or that. And it'll be maybe 3 other Black Muslims in the space. Like, we're not part of the conversation. Our voices are not being heard. Our needs are not being calculated at all. We just
I'm so
are
happy
invisible.
that you came here because this organization is necessary. I don't think there's a couple of things that I have a problem with. One, I think that Muslims, our political power is not really met. And I'm talking about Muslims,
Mhm.
because I think we're about 1 million, 1.2 million people in New York City, but you don't really feel our power. Are you doing anything politically?
Um, I think our work that we do is political in nature.
In nature.
Because trying to build a unified Black Muslim coalition is so that we can have power in every aspect of our lives. So that would mean politically. So when I'm going into these rooms, such as, I met the Attorney General recently, and they were talking about Islamophobia. And the whole time they kept talking about Arab and Muslim. And I had to ask, I think we need to change this language. That language in itself has a bias in it about who deserves protection and who doesn't. Because first of all, as we know, just even from the bans that you've seen that Trump has come out with, it's mostly Black and Muslim countries that are on that list. So if we're not becoming aware that what is happening with the immigration crisis that's going on right now and the violence that's happening, if we're not aware that that's targeting Black people, primarily, first and foremost, even though we don't see our faces on the media, we don't see Black people getting caught up.
But we're targeted.
But the message is already there. Like, they're showing you who they're targeting. They're showing you when they whip those Haitians on horseback. Did you see that?
No.
When Biden was in office, they had a group of Haitians that these
Oh yes.
yeah, and they whipped them. Like, they whipped them.
Yeah.
Like, who else is that happening to? Who else is that happening to? And they threw them on a plane, no due process, nobody thought about them again. So these things, I'm saying, first of all, let's change the language. If you want to use language like that, you should be saying Black and Muslim.
But that fascinates me because she went to Howard. And Howard...
Attorney General?
The Attorney General, yeah. She went to Howard Law School. And Howard University has to this day, a strong Muslim student association. So, there's Black Muslim students all on campus that she would say something that...
But everybody uses that language. It's just
But
her.
she should know better. That's my point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She should know better.
I think it's just people have elevated this to be an Arab crisis.
Right.
And that Arabs are what is Muslim first. And then everybody else is after that. And the fact is, that's not true. And in terms of being discriminated against, in terms of police violence, in terms of criminal justice violence that happens, that is us.
So let me ask you this. What's your mission? Do you have a mission statement?
Yes.
What's your mission?
We are an organization, a collective that means to bring unification and visibility for Black Muslims in New York City and the surrounding area.
So you advocate politically, socially, economically.
Yes.
To bring about an awareness and empowerment for Black Muslims. How did a young woman go from theater to community activist? Community activism.
It's a weird journey. So, as I said, I became a mother. So I think that kind of, and I had some other things going on in my personal life that kind of took me a little bit away from my arts work. And becoming a single mom was one of the big things because I started to focus very heavily on my son. And part of my focus on him did become Islam because, raising him alone, I was like, okay, I have to get my son settled. I have to make a man out of him. And so for me, that took me back. Let me get into the masjid. Let me start meeting people. Let me get into this world more. Let me make his world more Muslim. My father had passed. May Allah bless him and give him Jannah. And I just felt like I didn't have that male support around my child. And So with my father alive, it's like, oh, well, I'm good. Like he's always gonna. But once he wasn't there anymore and I wasn't married anymore, I was like, okay, I have to figure out something for him. And so I became really focused on my child, and that became my primary focus.
But how did this lead to community activism?
Well, it started with him because he was in regular schools and not in Muslim school. His father wouldn't allow him to go to any of this type of education that I wanted. So I was going to homeschool him and a lot of things. But once he was in school, then I started seeing what a Black boy deals with in those systems. And so I became vigilant about being in those spaces and working. So I became activated there first. I was like, okay,
within the New York City school system.
I'm taking over the school, the Parents Association. I'm building an organization for parents with students of color in the school. You know, I started doing that kind of thing. And I'm just putting this together now as you're asking the question, because I didn't really ever think about it before. But those are the kind of things I started doing. So then I became very like an activist in the schools, you know? So that was the first point. And then with this, somebody in that chat group just said, hey, we should start an organization to do something for Black Muslims. This is a chat group where people didn't even know who each other were. And so I said, I'm down for that. And a whole bunch of other people said they were down for it. And then we built another chat group. We started talking. This is during COVID, so we're like all online, not even knowing these people in real life, you know. And we just started talking like what we wanted to build, and we worked together till we decided on something that we wanted to do and what our focus was going to be. And then eventually we decided to pick leadership of the organization. I had no intention of being in the leadership. I was like working. I was like, I know stuff I can do to work, and I was doing that work. And I had no intention of being in leadership, but the group nominated me, and no one else wanted the job.
So you took it.
And so
describe some of the work you're doing.
Well, you know, the first thing we did, because we were like, we want to connect people. That was a big point, connecting people. So the first thing we did was we developed a product that we call the Now. And that is a Black Muslim event planner that we send out by text. It's a free service that you can subscribe to that we send out by text. And every Friday you get a notification that says this is what's going on in the Black Muslim community. So you can have an opportunity to meet up with people and join spaces and places that you didn't know about before. So that's the first thing that we did.
What is define Black Muslim community for me?
For me, that's everybody who's Black and Muslim.
Okay.
And we're trying to build a community based on that.
So that includes brothers and sisters from the diaspora.
Yes.
Completely.
Right.
Muslims from Brazil, Muslims from Trinidad,
Yep.
Muslims from Mali, Muslims from Brooklyn.
Yeah. And our team is built up of people coming from a lot of those places as well. So, you know, and that was another thing we had to work through too, because when you're dealing with people from different places, they have different ideas about Islam, how it's activated in their lives, and cultural differences.
Yeah.
And we did make a decision that it would be really important that we would, even before we picked leadership, we said we had originally wanted to have two heads. And we said we will have to have an American Black Muslim as one of the heads. And we came to understand that because there are things that we deal with as Americans that a lot of people from other places don't quite identify with or understand. So if this organization was to go forward and someone wasn't in the head leadership who was American, then that might get lost somewhere and our needs might get lost. So we wanted to make sure that really the group of people who deals with the most marginalization is addressed.
This is such an important organization. And again, thank you for coming, because, you know, as an African American, I see now Prophet Muhammad also said, peace be upon him, that I'm paraphrasing, of course, but culture shouldn't usurp your Islam. You know,
Right.
so there's cultural expressions that we all have. You know, I spend a lot of time in Rwanda, and there's certain things that they do in Rwanda that are cultural, but it's embedded in their expression of Islam. So I think you're doing a wonderful job. I'm so happy that you exist. Tell me now, with Mamdani running for mayor, this is the first time we'll see a Muslim in,
It,
in the
it's,
race.
yeah, in the
Yeah,
race, yeah.
yeah. What is your organization doing for him?
Well, I don't say we're doing anything for him per se, because right now, uh, we are trying to transition to become an official nonprofit. So we have to watch certain things. But we did try to make contact with his team early on, because of course we're excited that someone's Muslim who's in the candidacy. And the conversations that I've had with his team have just been about um, them trying to maybe find spaces where they can reach out to Black Muslims more and to try to our help with trying to create a space for that to happen. So those are the kind of conversations we're having.
And is it happening? This is important because we want to be a part of that conversation,
Mhm.
And this is why I'm so excited that you exist, and I'd love to participate more because we're
We'd
here.
love to have you.
We're here, and they got to know we're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
You
and I've just
know,
been trying to impress upon them too, because a lot of times I think uh
we get overlooked.
yeah, and their specifics. What I said to them was this. They told me, well, we're focused a lot on, making New York affordable. And that's what they're running on. And it's not so much about the Muslim piece, you know? And I said, okay, that's great. But if I put together something for Black people to come to and you come there too, I just want you to be aware and to prepare yourself that what we want to hear addressed is what you have on your mind that pertains to Black people and Muslims. That's going to matter. So, yes, you can make New York affordable. And that's nice and that's good. And we all would love to see that. But there will still be issues that impact Black people. Let's put the Muslim aside, just Black people that will still remain. So let's just say, for instance, you make apartments more affordable. Okay. But the person who's on the bottom of everybody's totem pole is still Black people. So when I come to rent that apartment, it's still going to go to everybody else who can afford that, who is not Black, before it goes to me. So
Right,
what
but
do you do about those discrimination policies, the bias? What is going to be put in place that can specifically address the needs of Black people? And that's what we're always missing politically, as far as I'm concerned.
But not only are we not missing that, because this is a little disturbing to me,
What?
because you know, brother is going to go, and I'm an advocate for him, but still, we got to
I voted for
chastise
him.
him. Excuse me?
I voted for him.
Yeah, and I will
Right.
again. But much of his base, he understands what his base is. There's over 1 million Muslims in New York City,
Mhm.
and he's going to appeal to us to votes. He's visited mosques, he's visited masjids. So that argument doesn't hold weight because he needs our votes. We need to come out in droves as a Muslim community to put him in office. So just that argument, I don't like it. Say that, well, I'm not running.
Well, he didn't say this. This is his team. So let me make that clear. That didn't come straight from his mouth. That came from one of his team members. But yeah, this is what the work that we're doing. Like, we have to get into these spaces where, if we want to use them for what we're trying to create, and at some point, like before we get to where I hope we'll get to one day, to where we build a real power base for ourselves, yeah, we're going to have to go through these channels a little bit here and there. So when we're doing that, we're going to have to let them know they don't know. They don't care about us. I mean, like, let's just face it. They don't care about us.
It's like a Michael Jackson song.
They're not worried about what's happening with us. Like, the
Right,
only
right,
way
right,
that
right.
they're not even, it's not even on their radar. So when I go in and say these things, they're like, oh, I'm like, you're talking about Islamophobia and you keep on talking about Arab people, and you act like there was a sister at one meeting I was at, a Black sister, who was like, listen, let me just tell you that, like, I'm a grandmother, she said. And she was like, so I'm dealing with generations of Black Muslims. And each of my children have been harassed at school for being Muslim, and my grandchildren. You think this is an Arab problem?
Well, what did they say?
You know?
No, seriously, what did they say?
Well, they're always just like shocked. They never know what to say when we say these things. But it's like, let me just let you understand something. Like, this is a Black problem too. And when things happen to us, it happens differently, because not only are we being harassed for being Muslim, but we are not afforded certain protections just because we are Black. And we all know this. Like, we all know what happens when
How do you combat the present administration's policies?
The only way I'm trying to combat that right now is I've been
As an organization.
a couple times I've been invited right now to speak about issues around Muslims. And that's just what I keep hitting on. They never expect me to say this, because a lot of times they'll give you like a little script. Like, we want you to talk about this. Like, and I'm always going off script, because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm not here for your talking points. I'm here for my people. So I'm always just bringing up exactly what I brought up before. Like, this administration is anti-Black. This is anti-Black racism. Everything you're seeing, these immigration policies, is rooted in anti-Black racism. If you don't deal with that, we're never going to get anywhere. Like, as long as that exists, you can't make it safe for the Arabs when it's not safe for us. Like, you can't make it safe for anybody. You can't make it safe for the people in Gaza if it's not safe for us. Like, we keep on ignoring the elephant in the room, you know? And so that's what I'm always bringing to light when I'm getting into these rooms and having these conversations.
I got to be a fly on the wall, because I can see you advocating.
So,
you know,
I mean, it's not always comfortable.
No, and it's good that you're making people uncomfortable, because we're here and we're not going anywhere. We were here,
get comfortable
from the
supporting
beginning.
each other too, because a lot of times I'm in these rooms and there'll be other Muslims there, because many times they'll do things where they invite religious leaders. I don't consider myself a religious leader, but like, they'll invite me as well, and I'll make a statement. I think I was at something with the DA, and they were talking about all these things they were putting into place for hate crimes, and they named all these groups that they were concerned about. They never mentioned us.
Do you receive any city or state funding?
Not yet. No, we're totally grassroots. We're paying for everything out of our own pockets.
But you should.
Well, that's why we're trying to get our 501c3 so that we will be able to start getting some of that funding.
Right. Because
and more, and grants and everything else.
We do pay taxes.
So yeah, right now this organization has, you know,
it's going to grow, inshallah.
It has cost a lot.
No, but we're going to have a Muslim mayor, so he should understand that Muslims need money. All right, tell me about your outreach program to the prisons.
Well, I got a call from actually Senator Cordell Clear in her office, and they said, hey, a sister has written us about, you know, some issues she's having in the prison. We don't know what to do with it. We thought maybe you could do something with this. And so I wound up contacting the sister, and she was speaking about how they have a chaplain who is Pakistani, and she's very racist, and she dislikes the Black people who are mostly Black in the prison. And
even though she's Black.
And she treats them very badly. And the sister mentioned that she wanted a hijab, and she wanted to buy one or just get one. And she asked her how she could get one. And she said, well, it costs $6. So you need to come up with $6. And she said it took her more than a year to come up with the $6, because, you know, she's not making any money in there. She needs to use the money for other things that she might need. So she finally got that. So she just wanted somebody from the outside to be connected and think about what they're doing, and think about getting halal meals in there and all that kind of stuff. So we just came up with what we could do, because we are a grassroots organization and we are self-funded. So what can we do? So one of the things we thought was, okay, let's start. We went around a lot, because there's a lot, and some people had experience in the prisons before and on our team. And so one thing she mentioned was like, let's do something where we know we can pull this off and we won't cause any disappointment, because a lot of times people want to do, we were talking about doing pen pal program. They're like, yeah, people will write you one time, they never write you again. so we were like, we don't want that to happen. So I said, let's do an Eid gift and letter writing campaign. And that will be something that we'll do annually. And it's something they can count on, and we'll be able to pull that off. So we just said, okay, let's make a package that has some things in it that the sisters would need: sanitary napkins, a rug, prayer rug, some prayer beads, hijab, Quran. And that's what we kind of put together. It's really hard because the prisons are not like, yay, come in and do a program. It's like they're not really totally receptive. So it's really hard, and they have a lot of rules. So it took us quite a while to get this off the ground. So we just made that happen this year. And
is this a city program or a state program?
It's a program that we just created from our organization.
I know, but is it for New York City or is it for New York State?
We are dealing with 2 state prisons. So it wasn't for, we did it because of this sister at this prison reached out. And when we started dealing with that, which is a state prison, just trying to make this happen, another prison got involved and said, hey, if you want to do that for them, I'll help you, but you got to do something for our prison too. So 2 state prisons for women.
Have you seen sisters do your work? Have you seen sisters wanting to take Shahada while in prison?
Well, we haven't gotten that close to them.
You haven't gotten that close yet.
We are sending this stuff in. We're not going in because we're not really equipped to do that right now. And we haven't gotten any kind of approval to go that far just yet. So even just mailing stuff in is quite a process. Like, it's not something.
No, you will, inshallah, because it's necessary. And I know you are a strong sister.
Well, that's one of the things that the sister was talking about. She was saying, like, I want to keep these sisters on the deen. And the way things are with the chaplain there and all, people were leaving the deen that were in the prison, and she was concerned about that too. So she thought a connection with the outside world and feeling like even when they get out, there's something out there for them. So that's kind of what we're setting ourselves up to be. Like, hey, we're connected with you. We're making outreach. We write you a letter. We're going to do this every year while you're there. And maybe when you come out, you know of our organization. That's some place for you to go, So
this is really wonderful. What's your vision for the future?
My dream of dreams, I think, is that we will really be able to be the connective tissue for the various Black Muslim organizations in New York City. So one day we'll be doing like what Atlanta does and have that huge Eid celebration where all the Black masjids come together and do something together. And then from there to build chapters in every major city in the United States. So we'll have a Black Muslims Now chapter in all the cities and states, and eventually to go overseas. I mean, this year I took a journey. This was personal, but I was invited as a Muslim leader to take a journey to Palestine. And my goal with that journey was to, again, to do the same work I'm doing here, which is to make visible the Black Muslim populations that's there. Because, again, if you look at the news, you would think that nobody Black is in Palestine.
Yeah.
And there are many, many Black Palestinians. And of course, as you mentioned, Adam, like everything comes from us. So the original people were dark.
Yeah.
They've been colonized multiple times. So you might not see them anymore. And that's not who they show on the news, but they exist.
They there.
And so I wanted to make connection with them. And I wanted to also just establish a Black Muslim presence at Al-Aqsa because, they don't see us there. So when I was there, everybody's like, well, and the other Black people that were there with me, they're like, what? Like, where are you from? And then it's like, oh, I'm American. They always think you're from Africa. No matter what hue of brown you are you from Africa?
You're from Africa.
So
I'm always from Ghana.
So they were like, you African? So anyway, they find out we're American. Of course, they're very excited about Americans because they don't even see a lot of Americans anyway, Black or otherwise. So when they see Americans, they're like, oh, wow, like Americans are coming here. Like, that's our holy land. All of us who are Muslims. So we need to establish our presence there.
The vision is to get Black Muslims Now firmly rooted in New York City, New York State, and then the country. Do you accept
And
donations?
internationally as
And
well.
internationally as well?
Yes.
Inshallah. Do you accept donations?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is what I want you to do.
Okay.
You're going to look into camera 2.
Okay.
And you're going to tell people about the organization, how they could get in touch with you, how they can donate, and when your next meeting is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
And don't forget, say your name.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Sahr Ali. I'm the president and co-founder of Black Muslims Now. And we are doing some really important work in New York City to create visibility and unification for Black Muslims. We are creating safe spaces for us where we can elevate our culture. And we are advocating politically throughout the city for us. So this is a completely grassroots organization at the moment, and we could use all kinds of support. Let me tell you a few other things that we're doing, because not just that, we didn't talk about this in the interview, but one of the things we're doing that's really important is we're really creating social spaces for Black Muslims. That's something that we didn't know as we started out was going to be deeply important, but it is. Like, to create spaces where Black Muslims can be together, see each other, and create relationships, whether they be marriages or friendships or what have you, and to learn from each other too, to see ourselves as scholars and teachers. So we have a lot of programs that we're doing right now. One is our Black Muslim Expert Series, and that is where we invite a Black Muslim to come in to teach a workshop with our community in various different skill sets. Some of them are fun, like we do hiking. Some of them are real estate. Some of them, a sister is going to do a doula program with us. It's a wide range, but as you come in and offer your services, then we're going to do these workshops. And
so how do they get in touch with you?
So you can reach us at blackmuslimsnow.org. You can email us at info@blackmuslimsnow.org. If you want to sign up for the Now, which is our weekly Black Muslim event planner, where you can find out what's going on in the Black Muslim community each week, is totally free. You just have to text this number, 833-833-0013.
Say it again.
833-883-0013. 833-883-0013. And you just text the word join, and then you'll get a message back saying you've joined, and you'll get to receive that message once a week, every Friday. You will not get spammed. It's just once a week. And really
lastly, how do they send you money?
Go to blackmuslimsnow.org. Just go there. We have a PayPal set up for donations there. We accept them anytime. You can send a one-time donation, or you can set it up to be a regular donation, monthly, weekly, however you would like to do it. We would so appreciate it. We need all the support we can get, and we thank you so much.
Sister, I thank you, because this has been an enlightening and refreshing conversation. I'm so happy Black Muslims Now exist, and I'm happy that my sister Bashira beat me up. I love you, Bashira. Beat me up to make sure that I got you on the show, because Black Muslims Now is needed. And it's a wonderful, wonderful organization. I'm so proud of the work that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me in and allowing us to use your platform to expound upon the work that we do.
Please come back anytime, and make sure you continue to put pressure on the politics of New York, because we as New Yorkers, they need to know we exist, as a select community, meaning the Black Muslims from America and Muslims in general. Our politics, our economics, our social needs to be felt in New York, particularly now that it looks like we're getting ready to have a Muslim mayor.
And that starts with us. Like, we have to start coming together and supporting each other, joining our organizations together. That's what we're trying to do.
And this is why Black Muslims Now is so important. So thank you, sister.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right, Oasis, this was a great episode. We are thankful to our sister, and we're thankful to you for tuning in and checking us out. Until we see each other again, it's your brother Haqq Islam. Assalamu alaikum.